What is up, LinkedIn and YouTube? For some reason, my background's not working, so you guys get the green screen for today. You get the green screen. But either way, we're back for another BizBuzz Live, regardless of the technical difficulties on Friday, November 15th. We're here to have a conversation. I know some of you are checking in because you think this is going to be a political conversation, but we're off the political train right now. But the question that I've been getting and the things that people have been asking me the most is, all right, what should I be looking at now that we do know who the new president will be? What things should I be looking at in my finances and my cash flow to invest in, to grow in order to capitalize on it? So that's what we're going to talk about today with the green screen behind us. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's your host, Chris Muzan. I'm your financial coach, helping you through all the things finances. Welcome back to another episode of BizBuzz Live. Again, you get the green screen today because we couldn't figure out the background. But either way, we're making things happen. Hope everybody's well on this Friday. If this is your first time here, first time having the conversation or listening in, the reason why we do BizBuzz Live is to talk about all things industry, all things entrepreneurship, all things job related, career related. As a financial coach, you might hear me say this a bunch, but as a financial coach, I have a lot of conversations around savings, around investing, around insurance, around debt, around budgeting, all these types of things. And inevitably, the conversation always comes back to cash flow. How are we making money? Do we need to make more money? How are we bringing in money? Are we in the right career? Are we in the right industry? Does our industry or career that we're in have the horsepower to take us to where we want to go? If not, we need to start having some more conversations around how we are making money, how we are bringing in income. That's the number one driver to your financial success, is going to be how you bring in income. So whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're starting a side business, whether you have a full-blown career in corporate America that you love and or maybe don't enjoy, we still need to figure that out, right? And so one of the questions we've been getting as now we're on the other side of this election, and by the way, this isn't necessarily a political conversation for those of you that want to join for the politics. You can leave your comments. I may not respond to them. But either way, right? Like, now that we know, we have some certainty as to, right, who will be in office. The question is, right, how do we benefit from this? What are some things that we should be paying attention to? On a live that I did earlier this week, I had a question around what industry should I invest in, or like what good stocks should I invest in? It's a very common question right now, kind of now that we know, and you'll see these clickbaity things out on social media about like, what should I be investing in? These 5 companies are definitely going to be on the rise. And I stay away from a lot of those things because at the end of the day, you don't know what companies do. You don't know what the trajectory of a company is. You can guess, you can have a good idea of who's backing them, or what their marketing, management team looks like, or even what their financials are. Or if you just believe that their product is going to be needed, sure, you can have a hunch, but you never really know. You don't know what happens behind the scenes. You don't really know what happens with mergers or acquisitions. You don't really know what's going on in that industry if you're not fully immersed in that industry. So a lot of the investment stock speculation, there's a lot of talk I stay away from. However, because this is a show, we're talking about your cash flow. How do you bring in income? There probably are some industries that you're going to want to pay attention to, right? There's probably going to be some industries that, with a new president in place, that you are going to now see grow, right? And the good thing about understanding money, and our money specifically, is you, especially as you're making it, you want to be in industries that are growing, right? The trajectory is moving in the right direction, meaning that there's probably more opportunities in the future. There's more money in the future. That's what you want to see. Sometimes people choose dying industries, industries that are typically on the decline, hoping that they may come back at some point. But that might not be the case. Right now, we may have an opportunity to look at the industries that are growing, the industries that are projected to prosper under President Trump, right? There's going to be some um, different industries to pay attention to. And I recommend this for anyone that's, again, in the midst of changing careers, in the midst of saying, hey, their career needs a little bit more horsepower to kind of get them to where they want to go financially. These are some industries that I'm gonna mention that you should probably pay attention to, because one of the things, we can believe in our president, or in the way that the country is run, the government, so to speak, right? But some things that are probably going to start happening, there's probably going to be some tax reform, and some deregulation, and probably a lot of infrastructure type things that are happening. So I think if we pay attention to the infrastructure side of things, there's probably likely a lot of jobs and industries that will benefit. Number one, manufacturing. I think manufacturing could be an industry that you could pay attention to. Maybe you've sold a small product before. Maybe you've worked for a manufacturer. Maybe you're in the space where you can, I don't know, you have a good network of people and you have some connections and you understand logistics. So manufacturing might be something that you can benefit from, whether it's manufacturing like automotive side, right? Talking about bringing cars back, or pushing reform around, the domestic production of cars. Obviously, maybe it's the aerospace side. We all know, right? Elon Musk being a part of now this government, so to speak, that aerospace, right? Getting into space, that's probably an area that's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to flourish over the next decade, more than likely. Or even the defense side of things, right? Having to go to war, all of those types of things. Even just heavy equipment to be able to build the infrastructure and build the things that we need. Manufacturing is probably one of those industries that will likely grow or be on a trajectory to grow. Now, again, which companies? I don't know. I can't tell you which companies are going to be good. You can do your own research and do your own due diligence to look into companies that manufacture things for automotive or for aerospace or for some of these other industries. And then you have to, as Warren Buffett says, know the industry, learn to read the financials, and learn the management team. If you feel good about it and you feel like you have a solid understanding, then that might be a company to invest in. If not, at least just pay attention to the industry. So manufacturing is one. Another industry, construction, kind of goes hand in hand with manufacturing, but construction, we talked about this on a previous episode, just specifically about the trades industry, or the trades, and how women, I think we read an article about how women, a lot of women are choosing to not go to college and to get a trades education, right? A trades degree, and go into the workforce using their hands, and right, whether it's machinery, whether it's transportation, right, whether it's construction, whatever it is, because there's more money there. Again, this is what happens when you're focused on your cash flow. It might not be your destiny. Like sometimes we put too much emphasis on our job or our career. Like this has got to be our purpose. This is why, God put me here, is to be an HR manager because I love people. It's like, yeah, sure. And that position is no longer paying you, and it's no longer going to help your family have the abundance you need. So you might want to find and take your talents to a different industry. And so we have to be open to those things. So we talked about how many people are choosing different structures outside of just going to college, getting a bachelor's degree in some, arts or liberal arts type of degree, and then trying to come out in the workforce. Well, what if you went into construction? What if you looked at industrial construction or commercial construction or infrastructure, right? They're probably going to dump a ton of money into rebuilding roads and bridges, and right, the infrastructure of America could be a place where you could see growth. And if you are someone that's ahead of the curve, if you have connections, maybe you don't have the full skill set in that, but you can learn it. if this is about you getting ahead financially and working with your cash flow and increasing your cash flow. So we talked about manufacturing, we talked about construction. Construction, again, another one of those areas. Third thing, engineering, right? We've already kind of known this, that engineers get paid well. And so along with the manufacturing and the construction, right? You need engineering, right? You need civil engineering and structural engineering and environmental engineering. Like you need people that like understand how to put all these things together and design all of these things with safety. And so if maybe you were thinking about getting an engineering degree, that's something you probably need. I don't know. And maybe drop it in the comments if, like you can do some civil engineering without a degree with, if you just get I don't know, a certificate or something. I don't believe that's the way engineering works, but if you do believe it, then, drop a comment, but maybe you got to go back to school and say, hey, I'm going to be an engineer. And so over these next 5 to 10 years, I'm going to build a skill set in that, and it's going to be needed here in this country, which means the places that are needed make the most money, especially if they're not saturated, right? If they have a low supply of people, but a high demand, the people that are taking that supply are going to get paid top dollar. These are the ways you increase your cash flow. So that's engineering. The fourth one is architecture. Again, goes hand in hand. If we are doing all this constructing and building and infrastructure things, then maybe on the architecture side, you're going to need some people to design certain things in certain cities or around the country that are going to benefit the people, the masses. A lot of these industries, though, are things we don't necessarily have skill sets in. And in all honesty, we've probably, as a country, as a society, gone away from those things. Probably over the past 5 to 10 years, we've leaned into what? Technology. And again, nothing wrong with technology. Obviously, it's helped us. We're here going live on the internet because of technology, right? Technology has advanced our society tremendously. Now, as a focus here in the States, it's like, all right, well, now we probably got to get back to some things with our hands. We got to build some more things. Technology is great, and we need some infrastructure, and we need some manufacturing, and we need some plants and warehouses and things and people to run these types of things. So you're going to have to create a new skill set to adapt to the upcoming environment, the changes in our society. This is the punchline of cash flow, ladies and gentlemen. The punchline is we get paid at the level of our skill sets. So maybe your skill set that you had 10 years ago was very valuable and you got paid really well. But now, 10 years later, that same skill set that you've worked on, but it's still really the same skill set, is not getting paid as much because it's more supply and not enough demand. So good old Wayne Gretzky quote, right? You got to skate to where the puck is going, not just skate to where the puck is. You got to skate to where the puck is going. So if you know where it's headed, then maybe you create a new skill set around where it's headed. I know that's not what they told you in college. Right? I know they didn't tell you that when you went to school, that after you get this degree, you're probably going to need to get another 4, 5, 6 different skill sets over the course of your life that have nothing to do with this degree. I know they didn't explain that to you, but if you want to increase your cash flow, you want to bring in more money, you want to keep more of the money that you're making, but you want to go off and be able to have more when it comes to the top end of your money, right? How you drive the rest of your financial life, you're going to have to upgrade your skill sets. And some of the things to pay attention to under now going to be a new president, right? Or former president, but new president, is going to be that, we're going to have some structural things that are happening in this country. So instead of just looking at the stock market and trying to make your money picking the right stock, which is, remember, the stock market is a machine, a large machine, and you're going up against a large machine with your $500 a month, with your $2,000 a month, with your $3,500 a month, with your $60 a month. You're going up against hundreds of millions of dollars, trillions of dollars that are in a machine. That's what the stock market is. It's a machine. Sure, it's a way people have grown money and invested in some companies that otherwise they would not have had access to. However, the people that drive the markets, the companies that drive the markets, that cause the shifts, are a big machine. So you're playing against that. So in my opinion, instead of throwing all of your energy to that, and some of you, right, might have to do that because you work at have a career that you can't take a break from, or that, you want to stay in, or whatever the case is. So you use your money to go off and invest in companies that you are hoping and guessing that, will do well. And you're taking advice from people that think they kind of know these companies. That's fine. But for those of you that aren't doing that, you're the one trying to put $50 into, some random company that you just think is going to blow up. Why don't you just upgrade your skill set and actively get into the industry that you think is going to make money? Because the number one driver in your financial life is your ability to earn money. We don't go to the stock market to earn money. We go to the stock market to grow money. So that means you have to actually have money in order to grow it. So if some of us are dealing with the fact that we don't have the money, we don't have all the discretionary income, we still live paycheck to paycheck, we still only have an extra $500 left over every month, we still, right, can't get all the things we need. We don't need to be putting a ton of money in a place to grow more money. You got to focus on earning more money. How do you earn it? Again, this is where the blanket financial information never works. This is where you hear it on social media, the different levels, right? I always say there's the 101 of money, the 202, the 303 level of money, the information that comes at different levels. Some of us are listening to 303 level information, 202 level information, which is like, you got to invest more. You got to invest more. Sure. That's a 202, 303 level information. Absolutely. What's the 101? You got to earn money first. You got to have an actual mechanism for how you bring in income. And you have to learn how to increase that. First, you have to learn how to earn it, then learn how to store it and save it, then learn how to invest it. Not out of that order. Don't have a little bit. And again, this is where society might differ, right? And you hear information that maybe isn't helping you because you're putting away $50 thinking you have the habit of, investing, but in 2 years you need that money and then you stop investing. So you didn't build it. You got to go earn more money. The way you earn more money is you pay attention, you upgrade your skill sets. Upgrade your skill sets. That's the message for today, ladies and gentlemen. I got the green screen behind me today. Appreciate everybody for tapping in today on this BizBuzz Live. Even though we couldn't get the background up, we get it all natural today. All natural with the green screen. So anyway, continue to lock in every single Friday. We're coming. It's only like 45 days left in the year, 46 days left in the year, y'all. Hopefully you're getting your plans together for next year. Hopefully you're thinking already about the future, thinking about how next year can be different than this year. Most importantly, how you're going to change your financial life, how you're going to change your financial life next year. I would guess that 80% of you that are listening, maybe even 90% of you that are listening or watching, the number one thing you can do to change your financial life is go make more money. Let's go make more. Now, of course, it's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. But there's only so low you can go in your expenses sometimes. Of course, the price of things gets more, right, grows more and more. We're not going to blame inflation for the reason why you're living paycheck to paycheck. That's not what we do over here. We're not going to blame the fact that the economy is the way that it is as to the reason why you can't do something. What we're going to do is we're going to take our financial future in our hands, in our control. If it is to be, it's up to me. And we're going to go off and we're going to upgrade our skill sets. We're going to level up our skill sets. And when we level up our skill sets, we get new opportunities. We can bring in new money. And that's what we got to focus on. So hopefully you guys are doing that. Let's tap back in next Friday for another BizBuzz Live. And hopefully we're in our normal setting. Take care, y'all. Have a good day.